One of the common mistakes that people have is they have this wonderful estate plan and they have 0 assets listed in the living trust. I'm doing a $10 million probate right now because the person did not put 1 asset into the trust. For me, it's heaven. I get to charge probate fees, then it goes into the living trust. I get to charge executor fees, trustee fees. I'm going to the bank. So, just want to make sure that you just don't. How you have title to assets, it's so basic, but people forget it. And one of the ways you can sometimes tell if you have a good attorney, they should be assisting you to make sure that you put the titles into the trust and do it properly. Reviewing your living trust is only necessary when you want to change your disposition of assets. False. Okay? It's expensive. So when you get that letter from the attorney asking you to come in for a review, more than likely he's telling you the truth. Okay? He's just not trying to, some of them are maybe just trying to generate some more income, but usually it's a good idea to have that done. About 1% of United States citizens that died in 2009 were subject to estate and gift taxes. What was in the estate and gift tax limit in 2009? 3.5. So, what do you think? If you think, raise your hand if you think it was above 1%. Okay, you're all wrong. Okay, it was 1/4 of 1%. We in Orange County are warped. We really are. We all need to live for at least 6 months in Kansas. Okay? No, we're a wealthy community here. You can't find a house in Orange County, I think, that's a 2-bedroom and a garage for less than $400,000. You go to Kansas, well, you know what you can buy for $400,000? You got, huh?
You could buy Kansas.
You can buy Kansas. I don't know that, but you can buy a lot. Okay? So, huh? So it's the diverse up to yes, it's false. It is so infinitesimally small. I was talking to IRS agents who work in the estate and gift tax area, and they had nothing to do. They had less than 10,000 returns to look at nationally. It is so small, the number of individuals that were subject to estate and gift tax. Okay? So how do you think it's going to be now with the 5 to 10 million, but it's only going to be for 2 years? So what's going to happen there? How do you plan? You got to come back. Okay. Number 7. In order to be fair and equitable, it's considered wise to name your children as co-trustees and co-executors. If you put true, you may have exceptional children, but I would probably say it's not a good idea. It's not an honor to be. Has anybody been an executor? Is it fun? No. Okay.
My father didn't tell me before he died.
That's what most people, I find that to be true. It comes as a shock to them. So take her word of advice. Talk to the person if you name them. Okay? They may not want to serve. It's not a position of honor. And the eldest may not be the best. It's just and we're going to have a whole class, hour and a half, just on this issue. So we'll go through that later. If the concern is creditors or an individual taking control of your estate, it's best to have a living trust. False. Especially creditors. What do they say one of the advantages of a living trust is?
No probate.
No probate. That's one of the advantages they tell you all the time. What's the other thing they tell you?
It's private.
It's private. So if I wanted to commit fraud, my name is Bernie Jr. If I wanted to commit fraud, what do I want?
Privacy.
Privacy. Okay? There's a two sides to that coin. You know, the common thing I hear about attorneys, they say, oh, you know, do you want for anybody to go down to the probate court and know everything about you? Well, I never have heard anybody go down to the probate court and pay $1 per page of somebody's will to find out anything about you. So remember, privacy is a two-edged sword. Okay. The Advanced Health Care Directive must be drafted by an attorney. No. Do you need a bottle of wine to complete an Advanced Health Care Directive? Yes. That question isn't on here, but okay. Most people after the age of 65 will need nursing home care. Okay, who says true? They'll be right. She's under 65, see? The real answer, though, is that most people after the age of 65 will need nursing home care for 3 months or less. That's the real answer. But the statement, the way it's written, is true. How long do you stay in a hospital today? Hardly ever. Mother-in-law just got a knee replacement. How long do you think she was in the hospital? 2 days. I had an individual have a hip replacement. 2 days, 92 years old. Where do you go? To an acute nursing home. And that's where you stay until you recover. But you don't stay in the hospital any longer. The reason why I put this in, and we're not going to cover it a lot, is that long-term care insurance is a big product, sales product. And so, you know, and it's a hard product to sell. And so there are individuals out there that'll kind of use scare tactics to get you to buy it. But we're not going to talk about it too much in this class. The best thing to do is that if you're concerned with whether or not you should have long-term care, the first thing you ought to do is do a financial analysis. What is your net worth? You know, how many years do you think you can pay for nursing home care or long-term care? Long-term care is what's called custodial care. It's somebody to help you with your activities of daily living. You know, help you bathe, help you eat, help you go to the bathroom, help you ambulate. That's what long-term care is all about. Most of us, thankfully, will need long-term care for an extensive period of time, you know, for longer than 3 months. You know, what do you think is a normal death? I'm not going to ask you. You want Nicole there? And huh? It's exactly. You die in your sleep. That is a normal death. And most of us, that's what will happen. We'll be normal one day and be dead the next. Thank God. You know? It's that way. But we all have horrific dreams and nightmares about, you know, how we possibly could die. And it's never a pleasant thought. So, and long-term care insurance kind of plays into that. So be careful on long-term care insurance. I'm not saying it's bad either. I think it's a good idea if you can afford it, but look at your own finances first. Annuities are usually good investments for older adults. False. Okay? And we do an entire 8-week workshop called It's Your Money. On the schedule you'll see that we offer the It's Your Money workshops at a couple of other locations other than here. We will do the It's Your Money workshop in the fall, starting in September here, and we'll go for 8 weeks, and we'll talk nothing but money and how to invest in financial planning and the like. We will not cover that in this course, in the estate planning course. 12. When a parent's residence is transferred to the parent's child, the child will automatically avoid property tax reassessment under Prop 13. How many say true? You're wrong. You're coming back. The key word in that sentence is automatically.
You're right.
You know, you have to file, okay? And so somebody needs to let somebody know that they need to do that. I've seen cases where they haven't filed within the 6-month period, and the city or the county will not go back and do the Prop 13 transfer. So that's an important date. We are not going to be talking a lot about property taxes, but look at this. We talked about taxes. We talked about the estate and gift taxes. We talked about that we're going to have income taxes. We got property taxes. There is a outline in your packet, which is actually very good. And in the... yeah, I'm going to. It's on page 19 in the back, and there's a whole 2 pages on property taxes. So take a look at that if that's an issue for you. Many individuals don't plan on having their children live in their house, so property taxes are not going to be an issue. But if that is, be sure to take a look and read through on the outline. The outline as well is really excellent because it talks about, in plain English, how to hold title to assets. And it really goes through probate avoiders. So either before or after, you know, the next lecture, a lot of this stuff is trying to understand and learn the vocabulary. You know, it's all of a sudden you don't know the meaning of the word. You're thinking about what the meaning of the word is, and then you forget what context it's being used, and it's almost like a foreign language. And it's one of the reasons why we kind of broken the class up into 8 weeks and an hour and a half per week, so we can focus in baby steps on each area. But this outline is really, really good if you want to take a look through either before or after the lecture, and it kind of helps you sink in some of the material. It is 11:30. Hopefully we'll see some of you. Did anybody get 100%? Good.